2024 Chatham County 4-H Livestock Show is proudly sponsored by Chatham County Farm Bureau, Quality Equipment, and the United Way of Chatham County. We thank them for their kind support of our youth. Number 3, Allie Helms. Number 7, Carson Moore. 23, Jonathan Scarlett. 49, Tyler Marshall.
Just an overwhelming amount of kids. There's only 4 out here, but I think all 4 are doing extremely good job showing their livestock. Young lady furthest down the end for me is going to be first in this particular division. Has a lot of knowledge of her project. You can tell she really puts in a lot of work. Always has this one set up the way this one needs to be. Has a ton of ring presence. Just gets around the ring extremely effortlessly. You never really find her or her animal out of place, and I have a lot of appreciation for that and how simple she makes it look out here. Young lady that's in second, she's in contention to win this thing for quite a long time, and right there at the end, you know, the heifer wants to kind of get her jammed up in a bit of a corner. Maybe wants to get that heifer's feet just a little bit up underneath of herself, and the longer that one's out here, the more and more trouble she wants to give that young lady. But the one young lady that comes in second still does an extremely good job getting this one set up. Has a ton of ring presence. Another one that just keeps it really simple in terms of how she sets this one up. Young man that comes in third, it's extremely close from first to third. He has got a really nice female out here. Does an extremely good job getting this one set up. Maybe just loses me at times. Would like to see him just a little bit more aware of where he's at. I know he's got a big old bred out here that he's got to pull around, and that can be a whole lot at times. I certainly understand, but he's another extremely good showman that just ends up in a very, very competitive showmanship heat out here. Young man that comes in fourth, kind of the same story. Has a lot of knowledge of his project, does a good job getting this one set up. Maybe just doesn't have the same amount of ring presence and awareness as the 3 that are ahead of him, but it's really splitting hairs out here amongst all 4 of these kids, because I think all 4 of them do an extremely good job. So let's give this intermediate division a big round of applause, and congratulations to all 4 of these kids.
Coming in is Gavin Moore, number 19. Maddie Carpenter, number 34, and Maisie Vaughn, number 36. Our show could not occur without the gracious assistance of valued staff and volunteers. We thank the following for their tremendous support today. Justin Wood, acting judge for today's show, and Claudia Alston. Claudia is a former FSA county.
young ladies that are going to be up front. I think it's extremely close, and unfortunately for the young lady in the middle, you know, she's operating with one wing here today, and at times that certainly you can tell is a hindrance to her, but hats off on all the effort that she's putting out here, really sticking with it and doing a really nice job. Both of the young ladies up front, the young lady with the Hereford heifer is going to be first, and I think just the longer they're out here, the more consistent her and her heifer become with getting this one set up on the profile, and does a really good job being aware of where she's at in terms of working the ring. I like how she handled being at the front of the line in that corner, establishing a strong line here, and not getting wrapped up and all bunched up in that corner over there, like some of the other showmen that have come in the ring have done. She does a really nice job with the project. Young lady that's going to be in second, like I said, you know, she's overcoming some adversity out here, and hats off to her for that. But certainly the longer she's out here, the more and more that heifer doesn't want to quite cooperate. She's operating without a show stick, and maybe just doesn't get that one stuck quite as quickly and quite as accurately as the young lady in front of her. It's extremely close, and you know, she's given the full advantage of both arms. I'm going to say pretty good chance that maybe she walks out of here first place, but both of those young ladies do an extremely good job. Young man just gets caught in the girls' world down here in third. He does a really nice job getting this one stuck. Maybe just doesn't have as much ring presence, have as much awareness of how his heifer's set up at times in comparison to the young ladies that are going to come in front of him. But he does a really nice job as well. We got a nice heifer here to boot. So congratulations to all three of these kids. It's extremely close in that top pair. So congratulations to those two. But all three of them, let's give them a big round of applause.
Number 19, Gavin Moore. Number 10, E.B. Carpenter. Number 34, Maddie Carpenter. Number 7, Carson Mora. The most recent census of agriculture reported Chatham County as having 1,076 farms, of which 95% identify as family farms. Of 18th in rural arts production.
I'm going to say, you know, we only have, and I didn't plan on it at all. I just don't know, like, up down the space.
And don't forget, H&B Food Truck is in the parking lot if you're hungry or thirsty. They're sitting out there in yellow shirts and waiting for you.
Yeah, you know, figuring out how much you need to dedicate.
Cattle to kind of end up out here with a pair of Angus appearing females, and I like all four of these extremely well. I think they do a lot of really unique things for their particular breed and what type of cattle they represent. But for me personally, the young lady that's going to win the class, I think does so pretty handily. I like this heifer quite a bit. From the side, I think this one's got a really nice look. Relatively attractive about her front 1/3, real strong down her top. I like how this one's tail head lays into her, really deep body, gets out and moves extremely well. Still has plenty of width and dimension. You know, if I were to change this one ever so slightly, maybe just like to make her a little taller, a little bit longer bodied. But that's getting picky on a really nice effort for the young lady, so congratulations to her. Young man in the cowboy hat that's going to be in second. You know, just gives you a really productive, practical, Angus female kind of look from the side, and I really appreciate that one in that regard. Just so structurally correct and fault-free in terms of how this one's put together. Really long spine, really long body. Like I said, just gives you a real maternal Angus female look, and you certainly can appreciate that. In comparison to your class one, we would just maybe like to make this one a little bit longer about her neck, a little bit more attractive about her chest floor, and right there in her throat latch. But that's still a really nice female for the young man. Young man's American influence cow, the white one out here in third. I actually really appreciate this one for her muscle pattern, her bone and foot size, and this one still gets out and moves extremely good. Can certainly appreciate that one in that regard, but out here with those other two females, just isn't as attractive and neat about her front 1/3, and she shouldn't be. That's not what she's bred for, and that's a really practical looking female that the young man should certainly be proud of. Young man's heifer that comes in fourth probably just gives up a little bit too much weight per day of age and power and performance in comparison to the three that come in front of her, but still really long and attractive, and I love how long and level spine this one is as well. So different parts and pieces on all four of these females that I think you can plug into several different types of operations. That's just how I see them. Let's give all four of those heifers a big round of applause.
There's more, and number 20, Grant Wagner. The Chatham County 4-H Livestock Show is proudly sponsored by Chatham County Farm Bureau, Quality Equipment, and United Way of Chatham County.
Well, in this next class, heifers here, two Brahman cattle, and young man's first place heifer gets a little bit excited for winning, I guess. But a really nice Brahman female. I love this one's bone, this one's foot size, and power and performance that this one's got. For an American type cattle, this is an extremely good one that the young man should certainly be proud of. This one also gets out around the ring and moves extremely good. Just a really fault-free Brahman female for the young man to go out and win this class. I really like that one a lot, and what it does for its prospective type of cattle and breed. Young man that comes in second, another really nice female in her own right. Probably just gives up a little bit too much foot size and bone and weight and performance in comparison to the young man that's going to win this class. But another one that from a structural standpoint still gets out and moves extremely good, and is probably just a nickel fresher, but for me, I'll side with the added condition when it comes with that much more performance and foot and bone size like the young man's class winner does. But let's give both of those exhibitors a big round of applause on two nice females.
Yeah, so I bought Silverado, but it's the same. Oh yeah. Yeah, but who are you gonna put on? Yeah. So I guess it'd be it'd be all.
No, you're fine.
But I was gonna say, okay, so that's just.
Stuff over here, just be careful. I hate for somebody running through it.
Brayford up front. I just think does the most things right for me from a practical and productive standpoint. Deep-bodied, square, good moving, practical looking. We're not more attractive about her front 1/3 and leveler about her hip. Just a really nice, complete, fault-free female for the young man that's going to make a really nice, productive brood cow. Gentleman that comes in second's got the purebred Brahman out here, and I love how square hip this one is, how big top and wide. We'd just like to see this one bigger boned and bigger footed, and just be a little bit heavier and sturdier at the ground when she compare it back to the class winner. But that's a really practical type female for the young man that comes in second. Let's give both of them a round of applause. I know this isn't the show with the biggest numbers, but I certainly think there's been a lot of quality from the first class to walk in the ring to the last class to walk out here for this final drive. I think there's been quality cattle in every single one of them from top to bottom. Certainly a lot of different types and kinds, and that's what you get in an all-breed show where they're all kind of lumped in there together, and it just kind of depends on the personal preference of whoever's judging that day, what he likes in his cattle and what he sees and what he studies. But I feel pretty confident with the lineup that's out here. All these females are extremely good in terms of their structure, extremely fault-free in that regard, and still have plenty of cow power and dimension and look to go along with it. Like I say, all of these females are extremely good, but I think there's 3 out here for me that probably just rise to the top a little bit more in comparison to some of your other class winners, and I'll walk back through those 3 real quick here for you. First one's the young lady out of class 3 with that Angus heifer. Like we talked in class, just real moderate, real practical, deep, good looking from the side. I love this one. Structural integrity and balance from the profile. You get back behind this one, still has plenty of width and dimension and foot and bone underneath of her. We talked in class, we like to make that one just a little bit taller and a little bit longer bodied, and even out here in the final drive, would maybe like to see that one's neck sit just a little bit higher out of the top side of her shoulder. But that's getting real picky on a real practical, fault-free kind of Angus female for the young lady. Young lady's Hereford right behind her is another one that's out here kind of rising above the top a little bit more in comparison to some of the rest. We say in class that one's a little bit lazy-headed and maybe doesn't give you her best look, and that's still the case out here. But I'm not going to hold that against this one. Really long, really, just gives you a real productive look from the side. Probably of the 3 that are in contention out here, is the one that I'd like to change the most in terms of her front end. Would like to make this one just more appropriate in the angle to her shoulder, and have her neck come out higher out of the top side of her shoulder and be a notch cleaner about her chest floor. But from there back, I just think she's really practical, really fault-free, and just gives you a real nice brood cow look. And then certainly the one that is also out here in contention is the young man out of the last class. This is an Angus bred female that I think has a lot of things that should make you excited for this one. Really long, really complete, and really fault-free off both ends of her skeleton. I love this one's top. I just love how maternal and natural she looks from the side. You know, we say in class that we'd like to maybe relax this one in terms of her condition, and I still would like to make her just a little bit more attractive about her chest floor and relax her condition right there around her tail head. But that's still a really practical, really fault-free type of Angus bred female for the young man that he should certainly be proud of. I'm going to take another look at this lineup, and I'll show you the two that I like the most. But let's again give all these kids and exhibitors a big round of applause on a real nice heifer show.